TV Tuesdays is a thing that we're starting because there's just so much gold that's on television that we could talk about, shit that we enjoy, and we decided that we would kick it off right with That 70's Show. Everybody can go and relive this right now on Netflix, and if you haven't seen it lately, go and watch it. If you're a youngin' and you haven't seen it, then just turn this off, all right? Turn this podcast off. Go and watch That 70's Show. After you're done with all the seasons, then come back, and we'll wait for you, all right? All right, you done? Amazing, right? That's why we're here talking about it. So let's get into it right now.
The Natural Habitat Podcast. Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
And this is the part where the podcast begins. The theme song, this is how it's going to work, all right? The theme song is, I'm going to put it in post. It's already played. And the theme song is faded out. And now this will be the part.
Don't give away our secrets, man. Now people are gonna know how we do this shit.
Oh fuck! I'm not trying to give away like any sort of formula. Look, they can have
the formula,
they can have the formula because even if they do it, they won't do it right, and they'll just make us look better.
Yeah, you bitches.
You bitches. Welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast, everybody. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name's Eric Foreman's higher brother,
and we are here to get high with you and welcome you to a brand new segment that we have on the Natural Habitat Podcast. Why don't you tell them about it, Joey?
It's only a part-time segment because Tuesdays are our most busy days of the schedule. Mm-hmm. Tuesdays are Tuesday News Days.
Yep.
Tuesdays are also Tuesday Interviews Days.
Yeah.
And now it's also TV Tuesdays.
What? TB? Like tuberculosis?
Yeah, well, no, that's a V, bro.
Oh.
Not tuberculosis.
I thought you said TB Tuesdays.
Oh, no.
So
you don't
TV.
have to get a shot, I swear.
Okay, good, because
you get a little shot in the arm with some love.
I was gonna say that I'm afraid of needles, but I didn't want to lie because that's just something that people say. But I'm not, right? And I'm not afraid of anything, and I don't want anyone to think that I am.
So we were gonna do this a little different. We were gonna start off TV Tuesdays by doing one of the greatest TV shows of all time, which was gonna be Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
But we decided to keep you hanging.
Yep.
And we're gonna do the other best TV show of all time.
That's right.
That 70's Show.
And I think that I think that the reason for us doing That 70's Show first is just because Freaks and Geeks is amazing. We bring it up a lot. We talk about it. It kind of is the reason why this whole TV Tuesday thing has spawned.
Yeah.
But That 70's Show, it's just like I think we both have been recently watching it.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like one of the most relevant things to our lives because everything we do with Chong involved and like with how much they are marijuana enthusiasts and the fact that they go through a lot of the same problems that normal families go through.
Yeah. And it's just like
teenagers or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's a very real show, and I think it depicts growing up, and even though it's called That 70's Show, it really isn't. It's timeless to where I can also relate to it watching it, and it reminds me of growing up in the 90s, and that's 20 years away, but still pretty much the same principles, and everybody had. Whether it was your house or whether it was a friend's house, there was a house like the Foreman's where all the neighborhood kids would come. Everyone was like family there. People could come over for dinner. And it was like the neighborhood mom. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you have a lot of memories from those places when you're a kid. You know what I mean? When I look back at times that I spent at places like that. And, it's cool that they captured it. They captured growing up. We kind of like grew up with all the characters, you know what I mean?
Yep.
A lot of them were of age, but some of them were younger. I know Mila Kunis, for one, was like 14 when the show started, and lied about her age.
Let's get in the mood.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Let's get high. You ready? You got your nail? Done?
It's ready.
All right, cool. Well, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna listen to the sound of. Do you have music?
I got it.
All right,
I'm
cool.
Ready.
I figured that you did, so let's do it.
Sound of The 70s.
The sound of flicking your bics and snapping your pics and hashtagging them NHP smoke sesh. Bitch. Yeah.
How many of you fuckers ever heard the whole song?
I did not.
None of you. Nobody ever knew that there was a second verse to that song.
No, and
That's why you're here. You're tuned in here today at the Natural Habitat Podcast, because we fill you in on those little secrets.
Mm-hmm. We bring you exclusive shit that you can't find anywhere else. You know how much we paid for that song? For the rights to that?
Millions.
Millions. You can't just YouTube that shit.
Nope.
No. That's I watched this video the other day of 10 things that you can't Google, like lost media and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of death videos that used to circulate, like the Brandon Lee death video, Owen Hart, when Owen Hart died.
Yeah.
When he like dropped from the fucking thing. That was all recorded, but it wasn't being broadcast on pay-per-view. And the tape's out there somewhere on the internet, and then it got like shut down. And it's weird how
you gotta have some money to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's weird how things never disappear unless they unless someone really wants them to. Then they're gone.
It's out there in the dark net somewhere.
Mm-hmm. It is. You just got to get
All
Tor.
Right. Let's spit a couple facts and then play a clip.
Let's see. What was I saying about Mila Kunis? She was mad young, right? She
Young.
She auditioned at 14 and told the producers that it will be, I'll be 18 on my birthday, is what she told them.
Yeah, which was truth.
Yeah,
a straight up truth.
It was going to be 4 years from then, her birthday.
But she didn't say when. She just said on her birthday. So I mean, like, that's a win, small win for people everywhere.
Yep. So
because without Mila Kunis, the show wouldn't have been what it is. Honestly, like I honestly feel like every single character was integral to the success of this show.
I agree.
And it's not like because they were the greatest actors in the world. Mm-hmm. It's just because they were all unknowns basically, and they all came together and formed this bond that was unbreakable. It's like that show coming to an end was one of the saddest things ever.
Yep.
You know, I usually don't get emotionally involved in shows or like things like that. I usually don't care when the show ends. But when the 70s show ends, you're just like, God damn it. You know what I mean? You're like, what am I going to do now? You know, it's like, you just want to keep going. Why can't they just change the name and have it be the 80s show now? You know what I mean? And keep it moving. And I mean, it was a sad day, the day that show ended for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I think that it was just because it was one of those shows that was watched by everyone. It was an iconic show. It was like Friends or Seinfeld, and you know everybody watched it. I remember like watching it with like my mom and my stepdad, like when I was young, just chilling, watching the shit because it came out in when did the first episode air? It was like 99, I want to say.
I don't remember.
Or am I wrong? 90. I don't know, but I'm gonna look it up. 98. So
Yeah.
I was close. But yeah, I remember watching that shit when I was a kid, and then I remember watching it as a stoner, young adult, and then after rewatching it now, as you know, being almost 30,
It's even better.
It's even better. I get all the references, every single one, because when I watched it as a kid, I didn't get any of them.
Yeah, because it's so old. It was like basically the references were for your parents.
Yeah,
you know?
they were all dead references that I didn't understand. And then when I was, like 19, 20 and watching it, I still didn't really get it all. You know what I mean? I got some of it, but not all of it. But now with the life experience, I totally understand everything, especially Red's character.
Yeah.
I relate to Red because life's starting to get to me. You know what I mean? My license plates were stolen off my car this morning.
Really?
Just straight stolen off my car. I come out and I got no back license plate, no registration. And then I call the cops and I call like the police department. They say an officer is on his way. So I'm chilling. I got to bring my girlfriend to work. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm leaving. Bring her to work real fast. They start calling me. Oh, like there's an officer at your house. And I'm like, well, I had to bring my girlfriend to work. And she's like, you're not supposed to be driving without license plates on your car. And then I was like, well, I was waiting for your officer and he never came. And then they were like, well, he'll be there to deal with you when you get back. So I get back and he's all like asking me all this shit. Like if I took the plates off my car and I told him that my gas was siphoned out of my gas tank. Because it was. I had like a half a tank and now it's all gone. And he's all, so you know that you're not going to get any extra money for the gas or anything like that if that's what you're trying to do. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, why you got to treat me like a criminal? Either write you a report or send out another cop. Like, fucking, you know, I called you to my house because I was...
You know what you should do? You should file a complaint.
Yeah, I'm going to. I have his name and his badge number. But, yeah, that's... I don't know why I started talking about that. Why did I get into this? Oh, yeah, because I feel like Red Foreman, and life is fucking bullshit, you know what I mean? And I didn't realize that as a child, so this show really has everything in it. And
well, I'm also glad that you brought up the Friends thing, too, because look at now, like, it's crazy what happens when, like, shows have that long-term lasting effect on you, right? Like, when did this show end? I don't know when, but a long-ass time ago. Mm-hmm. And now... Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher are together and married and fucking have a child. It's crazy that they ended up together after the show ended and the years that they all went their own ways, and then for the universe to bring them back together, it was for us, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it ended. It ended 10 years ago in 2006.
The same thing just happened with Friends. Also, Chandler and Monica ended up together in real life.
Yep, it's crazy.
So it's like, I don't know what it is about these shows, like that they just on the good shows, you know.
Well,
like
I mean, it's like
Friends was another one of those good shows, you know.
Think about being like Mila Kunis or whatever. Like Mila Kunis, her story is crazy because she moved here from Russia when she was like hella young, and learned English and fucking became an actress, like as you know, like a child star. So imagine, you know, being a kid. And having, I don't know, like what their parents were like, whether they were, you know, super making them do all this acting shit and take classes. But imagine, you know, focusing on an acting career. You don't really have like friends and shit at school that you can relate to. Maybe you're homeschooled, so you have more time to do this. And then you finally get on a show that's going for years, like that 70's show. And you're with other people that are like you, young people that don't really have friends, don't have people that they can relate to, and now you can relate with each other because you're living the same life. So you're going to get really, really close, whether it's, you know, a relationship or not. Like friendships are going to be built from that. So yeah. I would imagine that a few people are going to, you know, get married out of that because you grow a bond from that shit because the producers are telling you what to do and everybody's thinks that they know what's best for your career, and then everyone wants your autograph. Was
that's only like a select few, bro. It's like, you know what I mean? The really good shows are good because of that chemistry, like you said, and that they form. But not every show that's really good is like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's like, that's where the difference comes in. A lot of shows could be like really good to us, but all the characters on the show actually hate each other in real life and don't want to be there, and then they don't end up working out for so long. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like Friends was one of those shows that was one of the best shows ever, and was like, they just had that loving bond, just like that 70's show, just like Freaks and Geeks, obviously, because look at their careers afterwards. You know what I mean? And they all stuck together. So it's like, it's cool for us to get to be a part of that. And get to like see these things happen and then come full circle later, and it just like reinforces the idea like that everything comes back around, you know what I mean? Everything happens again, and everything that is supposed to happen happens, you know what I mean? It's like, it's very cool to see this shit, and it's like, it's a shame that fucking there's not like some type of reunion or something, you know what I mean? The way that everything's going nowadays, they seem to be able to pull everything back together and like make some type of reunion. So
right,
maybe one day we'll see that '90s show, and it'll be like that '70s show with their kids or something. You know what I mean? Like, that would be legit.
I'd watch it for sure.
Fuck yeah, that '90s show would be the shit right now. It'd be perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? That's copyright, trademark, bribery, Bobby.
Trademark Bobby. What was Topher Grace just in, where he played like a serious? He was like
he's been in a lot of shit.
Oh, American Ultra. That's what it was. Did you see American Ultra with the Zombieland kid?
No, I don't think that. Wait, what is it about?
It's like it's him and the girl from Twilight or whatever, and they're like stoners, and then he's like a sleeper cell, kind of like Jason Bourne kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't see it. No.
And someone says his trigger word, and he starts fucking shit up. But
that's awesome. That's like Manchurian Candidate or something.
Yeah, and it's just all. It's like one of those like Manchurian Jason Bourne movies mixed with a stoner movie, and Topher Grace plays like the head FBI agent that's searching for him. So it's weird to see him in that role. You know what I mean? Because he's still a very small man. He's a small, frail guy, but give him a suit and a haircut, and he could pull it off.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna play a clip.
All right. Before you do that,
it ain't gonna be hard to figure out why I play the clip once you hear it.
Yeah.
And see it.
Before you do that, I have an interesting tidbit of info about the show's name.
Oh yeah. Okay, drop that shit.
They initially were gonna name the show after a Who song, and that's who. The theme song that we just listened to for the Smoke Sesh was by The Who, called "The Kids Are All Right." Correct? Is that the name of that song?
No.
No?
No, I don't know.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
It says that '70s show soundtrack with lyrics.
All right. Because early ideas included...
It's In the Street by Cheap Trick.
Oh, okay. Early show titles were "The Kids Are All Right" or "Teenage Wasteland," which are both songs by The Who.
Yeah.
And then The Who's lawyers were kind of pressuring them to come up with something better, and test audiences came up with the idea for That 70s Show, because people would go see it, like the test screening, and then when they were talking about it amongst themselves, they would refer to it as That 70s Show.
That's so funny, and that's perfect, right?
Yeah, it's a perfect fucking name, and it's stuck forever, and you could say it, everybody knows what you're talking about.
So here's another little fact to bounce right off of that one. The 5th season titles of all the episodes are all from Led Zeppelin songs. The 6th season titles are all from The Who songs. The 7th seasons are all Rolling Stones, and the 8th seasons are all Queen songs.
Nice.
Yeah, so now that you know that, you can go back and you'll be like, holy shit.
That's dope.
Yeah, so there you go.
All right, well, play this clip and let's get lit.
All right, let's do this. Yeah, feel free to smoke during every clip for this special first inaugural episode of TV Tuesday.
TB Tuesday. Go get your TV shots.
You'll see why.
I'm looking at a feeling. I'm high on believing.
So is Red still thinking about giving me the car, maybe?
Even if we do get it, we're gonna need some serious gas money because the cruiser's a boat.
I know it's a boat. This whole gas shortage bites.
Who's getting a boat?
There is no gas shortage, man. It's all fake. The oil companies control everything. Like, there's this guy who invented this car that runs on water, man. It's got a fiberglass air-cooled engine and it runs on water.
So it is a boat.
No, it's a car. Only you put water in the gas tank instead of gas. And it runs on water, man!
I never heard of this car. Hey, Jackie's good for gas money.
You You are such a whore.
When did the book get here, Hood? Eric!
Yeah, Dad.
I need to talk to you.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
And then the walls all moving behind him and shit.
Yeah. I when I was young, when this first came out and I saw that part, I was like, man, it's not like that. That's bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not mushrooms, like being all defensive of like smoking and shit because, like you were trying to hide it and like, just keep it. But you were like, you just felt offended by it. You're like, what? And then now that you look back, you just think it's funny. You're like, oh man, that's
when
so
you're
funny.
when you're super high and it's like that's not what it is at all. But I could see what they're getting at.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you put it together.
That's the only way. That's the best way to like depict it with a camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and shout out to the show for being one of the first marijuana conscious shows. You know what I'm saying? Being one of the most positive ones because this was in the mainstream.
Yep.
This was fucking the big time.
And that was
it was out there for everybody, and they had a smoke session on every episode. You know what I mean? So it's like the shit.
Oh my god! That's dope. That's where we get it from.
That's where we get it from.
Yep, a smoke session on every episode, just like that 70's show.
And salute.
Their trademark spinning camera in the center of the smoke sesh, and you never knew where they were gonna be and who was gonna be in the circle. That was the best part. Is that like all the different like settings. They were usually in the basement 75% of the time, but every once in a while they were different places. And
the cabin or fucking
the cabin or like in someone's office one time. Yeah. And then you never know who the camera's gonna pan to, because it'll like show one person and then another person, and then all of a sudden there'll be someone that's usually not there, like Bob, or like someone will just be sitting there getting blunted with them. Hella smoke, and the way that the camera spins is that the pipe is always behind the camera, so you never actually see it, and it's just like a genius move. It was perfect to get around censors because they couldn't put that on the show and put it on TV. You know what I mean? But the way that it was done to where if they never show the pipe or anything being smoked, then it could just be smoky and they could just obviously be high. I mean, all their demeanors changed. They were just like, hey, man. And watching it as a kid, you really don't get it. You know what I mean? So it's the perfect hidden, not so hidden stoner reference. But I love them, man. Every single smoke sesh in that show is gold every time. So let's talk about.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about someone that we all know and love from that 70's show, and that man is Leo.
Yeah.
Is that who you were thinking?
That's who I was just gonna say.
Okay, cool. Well, what do you got?
Well, the same thing you got is that he was absent from 2003 and 2004 seasons because he was fucking in prison.
Damn. Yeah.
And his cellmate was fucking Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street.
Dang.
And Tommy Chong's the one who fucking gave him the idea to write the movie Wolf of Wall Street. or the book or whatever.
He's all, hey, you should write that down, man.
Yeah. Imagine that conversation. Hey, man.
Hey, you should really write that,
man. We do all the Cheech and
Here,
Chong.
use my pencil. And he like gave him a pencil, and then
Yeah, no, he doesn't really talk like that in real life. I guarantee that part's a character. Tommy Chong's smart as fuck. He knows what he's doing. He can write. He can do everything. He can sing. He can fucking play all the instruments, dude. He's not a dumb motherfucker. That's just a character for sure, but it's the funniest character ever.
Yeah. And fucking he was like
Mostly Labrador, man.
Leo on the show was fucking so lovable, and he was like all the shit that he did, all of his one-liners were like perfect. There was one episode in particular that I was watching a couple weeks ago, and it was like Donna and Jackie were having like a girls' night or something, and then Leo came over to bring weed. Like he came over, and you found out because right after he comes by, they have a smoke sesh like in the room, and it's Donna and Jackie, and then Leo has like a bunch of like face cream on, like they're giving him like a makeover or some shit, and he has like face cream, and he's like sitting there smoking with him, and then Kelso comes in later, and like Jackie's all like, "Get out of here, Kelso. It's girls' night." And Leo's like, "Yeah, man, it's girls' night."
Yeah, he's so funny.
And it was just fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah,
Like, I love it.
his comebacks and everything. Like every time somebody says something, he says it right back to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nobody ever like knows what to say after that. You know, it's so
good.
funny. He's very smart, very smart.
He was a great character.
Let's get down on another smoke clip for Leo.
All right, let's do it.
Bitches.
You should really go to church, Eric. Because God, He sees everything. That's why I live my life good and pure.
So you were dating two girls at the same time.
Yeah, but God didn't see that. I was in my van, and He can't see through lead.
I don't want to get into a religious argument, but my God can kick your God's ass.
God is dead, man. Said so in Time magazine.
No, man. I sat next to God once on the bus. He told me the meaning of life, and then he gave me a pretzel.
So what's the meaning of life, man?
Yeah. I guess I should have written it down. But it was a good pretzel, man.
Maybe this life doesn't even matter, you know? Maybe we're not even here. Or no, maybe I'm here, but you're not. Hello?
You know what the best thing God ever did was? Boobs!
Yes. And God said, "Let there be boobs." And then there were boobs.
Hey, if God is all powerful, can He make a boob so big that even He can't lift it?
Well, that's a good question, man. I'll ask him next time I'm on the bus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I feel like the show was much better when Leo was on it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, like he just like he was that co-signer. You know, he made the show really believable for sure.
So, Topher Grace, who played Eric, was discovered at a high school play by the show's creators. They went to their daughter's high school play, saw Topher Grace performing in it, and cast him as the lead role in that 70s show, and had him called dumbass over and over again for, you know, the next however many years. And I think it's weird that, you know, he was discovered, pulled from this high school play, and put on this show. His career was made, and then he was the one that left the show early to go and pursue other roles. He went and filmed Spider-Man or whatever.
Yeah.
And fucking just like bailed out. And then they had Josh Myers show up, the new guy.
Yeah.
And originally he was gonna replace Topher Grace and play Eric, and it was gonna be when Eric comes back from Africa. Because remember how Eric left to Africa and that's how they did the story? Well, when Eric came back from Africa, quote unquote, he was gonna be grown up into a man and be a totally different guy, Josh Myers, instead of Topher Grace. And then they decided to not do that.
Yeah, it's probably better that they didn't.
Yeah. Like,
Stupid.
hey guys, here I am, Eric.
Yeah. I know it's TV and it's fantasy and everything, but it ain't that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And then we're also running out of time because we have a deadline appointment that Joey and we have to go see a doctor for the podcast. It's legal stuff. But one last thing that I found out is that the Vista Cruiser's license plate at the beginning of every episode, when it shows the title sequence and all that, the show takes place over 4 years of time in the show, even though it was 8 seasons long. And at the end of each title sequence, it says the corresponding year of what year it took place in the show. 74 or 76 through 75 through 79. I think that's when it was. The show started, and it was supposed to be 1975. So, depending on what episode you're watching, it'll say in the sequence, 77. The year changes with the year of the show, which is dope. Just like that little tiny detail. There's a lot of things like that we didn't have time to get into today, but there was a lot of little things that they did in this show that really went a long way and made it what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's leave with the circle.
All right, cool. So yeah, TV Tuesdays. These will be things that'll be happening. Probably
every once in a while, whenever we feel like it.
Yeah, once or twice a month, and we'll be doing TV shows and shit, because that's a whole block of entertainment that we haven't dipped our dicks into yet. So
yeah,
we're gonna do that. And thank you for joining us, everybody. We love you. Here's this last clip. We'll smoke one with you as we go, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great day, bitches.
I'm glad the plant is closing. It frees me up to do my own thing.
He said, do my own thing.
Oh, Red, your own thing. That's so hip.
I love salt. I like that word, hip. It kind of pops, Hip, hip, hip. I can see my own mouth.
You know what's beautiful? Fruit cake. All of the different colored little fruits living together in one cake.
I jumped out of a cake once.
I also like sweet, but there's just something about salt. It starts to lose its meaning after a while,
Hip.
It's not even a word.
Oh my God, listen, you can hear my heart. Oh my God, there it is again.
No, that's someone at the door.
Maybe it's your cops. It's just someone for the garage sale. Take whatever you want. It won't fill the hole in your life. I'll see who it is.
For a terrible grouch, Red is great in bed.
I'm sorry, what?
Hippity hoppity, Easter's on its way.
Where'd you go, Red?
Well, I was hopping down the old bunny trail, and this guy offered me $200 for the Vista Cruiser. So I sold it to him.
You sold Eric's car? Oh, no.
Yeah, that would be something a high parent would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Don't give your parents brownies, kids. Lesson of the day.
Yep. And follow it or be doomed.
Yeah.
Peace.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.